let's get started. So if you have any injuries, anything that you're working on that I don't already know about, just make sure that you honor your body. Make sure that if there's any time that you feel like you need to take a break, take a break. And if there's any questions, like, feel free to ask questions. I'm cool with talking in class a little bit. So let's get started. Find your cross-legged seat. So this is not always a comfortable seat. If you're lucky enough to have a block, you can go ahead and sit right up on a block, creating some more space for your hips. That's nice. Make sure you do have 2 blocks if that's possible, and put them at the front of your mat. And let's take the hands, rest them on the thighs, sitting up nice and tall. Closing off the eyes. And as you start to bring your awareness to your breath, those first few conscious breaths, just imagine the space around you widening. So all of the stuff that you brought here with you to class, just feel it being kind of drawn away from you. Any of your responsibilities, the demands of yourself, your expectations, just allow them to widen away from you and almost kind of create this circle around you, but it's giving you space. So you have this space free of anything all around you that you can breathe more easily in. And find comfort and ease of this breath. Let's test just how wide you've created that circle, how far away that stuff has gone. Go ahead and take your arms alongside your body. And with the next inhale, reach your arms as wide out to the sides as you can, finding all kinds of space there, reaching them all the way up overhead. And with a long, slow exhale, begin to descend your hands all the way down through the heart center. Do that again. Inhale, feeling all of that space all around you. Inhaling, reaching the arms up at the ears. And long, slow, draw up the hands to the heart as you empty the breath out completely. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, the arms reach out, finding all the room in the world. And slowly exhale, letting the hands descend to the heart. And the next time you breathe out, go ahead and tuck your chin in towards your chest. Allow your eyes to slowly, softly open up, lifting up the chin as you release the hands. And we'll find our way onto the hands and knees at first. So coming to the hands and knees, I'm going to just take a moment and do a little thing that helps you access the back side of your body and the front side of your body. Just kind of letting you realize and feel how important the point and flexing of the feet can be. Okay? So let's come on to the hands and knees. Strong hands into the mat, grip the mat with the pads of your fingers, soften the space between the shoulder blades. Reach the right leg straight back behind you and flex the foot. So push through the heel. And notice what you feel. Feeling the calf, feeling the hamstring a little bit, feeling even a pull through the lower back, but it's pulling down towards the end of your mat, and a length through the crown of the head, especially the back of the head. And now point your foot and feel that length through the shin. Maybe even causes your leg to lift up a little bit higher. Feel a little pull through the belly. Maybe even your heart wants to lift up a little bit more. So you're accessing the front side of the body. And let's do that again. Flex the foot, back side of the body. When you access the back side of the body, feel how much it pulls the belly in. And then go ahead and front side of the body, point. Feel how that creates an opening across the chest. And one more time, flex. Feel the belly hugging in, the low back long, the back of your body full, and then point. Feeling the heart opening up a little bit, that stretch to the front side of the body. It's really subtle, but when we add it to some of our poses, it becomes even more intense. And then go ahead and place the knee down. Let's do the other side. Extend the left leg back, flex the foot. Feel the calf, feel the hamstring, feel the bum reaching towards the back of your mat. Feel the belly pulling towards your back, the low back nice and long and full. And then point the foot. Feel that extension through the front side of your leg, your belly, your chest, even your throat and your gaze kind of open. And then flex the foot again. Feel the strength in your belly. Feel the pull towards your back. And let's do it again. Point the foot. Feel that stretch through the front side of the body. And again, flex the foot. Feel that extension to the back side of the body. One more time. Point the foot. Accessing your front. And then place the knee down. Let's tuck the toes, stretch back, downward facing dog. And just work out the legs as much as you need to. And let's take an inhale here. And with your next exhale, walk both feet all the way up towards the hands. Breathing in as you take the hands to the shins or the thighs and rise halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, out over the legs. Leading with the chest, inhale, diving all the way up. And exhale, take the arms alongside the body. Inhale, let the arms reach up. Exhale, dive forward, out over the legs. Breathing in for a halfway lift. On your exhale, step back to downward facing dog so that we can then pull into plank pose. As you pull forward with the shoulders, push back through the heels. Feel the backs of the legs, feel the inner thighs lifting up. And then finally, push forward with your toes. Keep the inner thighs lifted. Even when you drop the knees, keep those inner thighs lifted. So you haven't dropped through the inner thighs, right? You're lifting them up. And exhale, lower them all the way down. Point your toes back. You can kick your legs back. Inhale, lift up into a cobra. Exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Taking an inhale here. Exhale, walk your feet all the way up towards your hands. Breathing in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, leading with the chest. Inhale, dive all the way up. And exhale, arms alongside the body. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, dive forward, out over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Keep the heels working back as you inhale forward into plank pose. Feel the inner thighs lift. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up to the heart. Exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Good. Take an inhale here. Exhale, walk the feet all the way up to the hands. Breathing in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Leading with the heart, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge the hips, fold forward. Breathing in, halfway lift, shoulders back, chest is open. Exhale, step back into that downward facing dog. Take an inhale as you pull into plank pose. Inner thighs lift, and as you exhale, lower down through chaturanga all the way to the mat. Point, lengthen, kick the legs back, and as you inhale, lift the heart up for cobra. Exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Couple extra breaths here. Breathing in, feeling full through the back side of your body. Breathing out, feeling strong through the belly. Another inhale, feeling long through the sides. And another exhale, feeling grounded through the legs. Taking one more inhale. And as you exhale, walk your feet all the way up towards your hands. Breathing in to rise halfway up. Breathing out to fold forward. Leading with the chest, inhale, diving all the way up. And exhale, arms alongside the leg. Inhale, let the arms reach back up. We're going to change it up now though. As you exhale, dive forward out over the legs. Breathe in for a halfway lift. On your exhale, take these blocks in. Take a big step back with your left foot. Keeping the blocks on either side of your front foot. Inhale, straighten through the front leg and lengthen through the spine. You can even take your gaze slightly forward without cranking your neck. And exhale, bend the knee. So every time you inhale, keep the foot grounded, but pull back through that right hip. And then keep that right hip moving back as you exhale, bend into the front knee. So there's a bit of resistance happening there. Inhale, straighten, lengthen through the front leg, right hip pulling back, inner left thigh turning to the back wall. Exhale, bending through the knee. So even though we're doing this on flow, we're not holding this straight leg position. We're still working the actions of that pose. Exhale. Again, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, bend. One more time, inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, bend the front knee, drop the back knee down onto the mat. Let the bum go back a little bit. See that the front knee is stacked over the ankle. And then scoop your tailbone underneath you. Feel that lifting action happening from the floor of the pelvis as you take your shoulders over your hips. And then inhale, reach the arms strongly up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, the hands are coming right back down. Really doing a flow here. So as you inhale, lift your back knee up off of the floor. And as you exhale, pull from the belly as you start to rotate towards your right. Use your inhale to extend the right arm out over the ear. And as you exhale, step your back foot forward to meet the front, fold forward out over the legs. Breathing in halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Diving all the way up, inhale. And exhale, arms alongside the body. Inhale, let the arms reach up. Exhale, dive forward out over the legs. Breathe in, halfway lift. Use the blocks. Exhale, big step back with your right foot. Blocks on either side of your left. Stay grounded through the front foot, especially at the base of the big toe. And as you inhale, straighten through the front leg. Keep the base of the big toe grounded, but pull that left hip back. Keep the left hip back, and exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lengthen the front leg. Use the inner thigh of the right leg, turn it back behind you. Basically doing those actions to really keep that pelvis nice and stable as you work through that front leg. Inhale, lengthen the front leg. Keep the spine nice and long. Exhale, bend the knee. Again, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, bend. One more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the front knee, drop the back knee down. So again, when we come up, the goal isn't to push the pelvis forward and come up, right? We don't want to get a back bend in our lower back. We want to move the bum back, lift the pubic bone up and the belly in, lengthen through the sides of the thighs. You're super stable here. And inhale, strongly reach the arms up. As you exhale, the hands can come right back down. So even though we're doing it in flow, we're still doing it in a flow that's really, you're really conscious of the movement. Lift the back knee up. And as you exhale, twist towards your left. And use your inhale to reach the left arm out over the ear. Exhale, step the back foot forward to meet the front. Breathing in, rise halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Diving all the way up, inhale. And exhale, arms alongside the body. Breathing in, let the arms reach back up. Exhale, dive forward out over the legs. Breathe in for a halfway lift. This time, step back into your downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale forward into your plank. Keep moving forward as you lower down through chaturanga. Point the toes back, round the feet down. Inhale, lift your heart into your cobra. And exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Breathing in. Taking an inhale here. On your exhale, step your right foot up to your hands. okay? Once the right foot's forward, you can move your right hand out of the way. You don't have to try to squeeze it in between the hands, right? So you can move your right hand out of the way, help it up if you need to. Turn the back heel in and down to the mat. Have the back toes slightly turned in so it helps the back leg turn inward as well, which will give more room for your hips. Bring your right block next to your right heel. Start to lengthen your right leg. As you lengthen your right leg, feel the right thigh bone moving deeper into the hip socket. As the right thigh bone moves back, the right side of the body gets nice and long. And now hug that right thumb underneath you as you start to open up towards your left. Let's actually reach the left arm just straight back behind us. Okay, so reach the arm back. Instead of up to the ceiling, just reach it back. And as you reach it back, let it lift your chest up a little bit. Feel the sides of the neck equally long. Really strong through that front thigh so you're not locking the knee, right? I'm a big knee locker. And then start to rotate your chest open a bit more to the side wall. Next time you inhale, reach the arm out over the ear. And as you exhale, ground down through your legs and come all the way up. So you're kind of using the power of the exhale to engage the belly as you rise. Exhale, inhale here, and as you exhale, bend into that front knee. Wrap the left arm behind the back, and we'll go for that reverse warrior, but let's try to do it nice and long. So we're not trying to lean back. We're lengthening up through both sides of the body, reaching up and feeling the top of this right thigh bone, root down into the hip, reach up long through the sides of the body. Keeping this back arm wrapped behind the back, bring your right forearm to your right thigh. You can even take the arm behind you even more and hold on to your thigh. If you're holding on to your thigh, kind of use that hand to outwardly rotate that front leg and then root back through your tailbone. Open up the chest a little more. With your next inhale, release that top arm, send it out over the ear, and exhale both hands down to the mat. Let's step back, downward facing dog again. And inhale, pull forward into your plank pose, inner thighs lifted. Exhale, lower down. You can always modify. You can keep the inner thighs lifted if you modify too. Point your toes, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Taking an inhale here. And as you exhale, left foot steps forward. Again, you can move the hand out of the way. Turn the back heel down. Toes turn slightly in. And bring the block to your left heel, the outside of your left heel or even shin. And as you start to straighten through this front leg, move the top of the thigh bone back into the hip. Now, if this foot was turned out, right, and we were sort of turning and trying to open up the hips sort of ahead of time, a little too early, right? Then you're not going to get as much length through the side of the body. You're not going to get this hip back. But if we turn the back toes in, turn the hip in, then you've got all this room to pull the left thigh bone a little deeper into the hip socket, which allows you to lengthen through the left side of the body, right? So now start to turn the chest open, make sure this thigh is nice and strong. Reach your right arm straight back behind you. So as that right arm reaches back, the sides of the neck are equally long. Breathing here. Next inhale, reach the arm up. And as you exhale, we're coming all the way up. Use the power of the exhale to rise you up. Take an inhale here, long through the sides of the body. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Wrap the right arm behind the back. Again, we're not trying to lean back. We're lengthening up and then reaching the left arm up. Breathing here. Just for one more inhale. Keep the right arm wrapped behind the back. Take the left forearm to the left thigh. You can keep wrapping the arm behind you more. If you grab a hold of that thigh, outwardly rotate that left thigh as you root the tailbone towards your right heel. And then let the chest open up a little more. Next time you inhale, release the arm out over the ear. And exhale, both hands down to the floor. Down dog again. Okay, stretch back into that down dog. Use your inhale to pull forward into your plank pose. And as you exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Point your toes, lift your heart. And exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. And exhale, walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Take an inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Diving all the way up, inhale. And exhale, hands together at the heart.
Let's keep the hands right at the chest. Take the elbows forward, head of the arm bones back. Shift your weight to your right foot. Take the top of your right shin bone and move it just slightly forward. Yeah? Take the top of the right thigh bone and move it back. Bring the left foot to the shin bone. We don't have to go as high as the inner thigh. This actually might be more challenging. If you have a tendency to go up here, you're like, oh, I can do it here. That sometimes is almost a little bit of a crutch because it really sticks together. Here you have to do a bit more work to make this happen. So tailbone, root it down towards the floor. Feel the inner right thigh hugging to the midline. Feel the left foot pressing into the right shin. Let's turn this a little bit into a back bend. So with the head of the arm bones back, start to lift the sternum up towards the hands. Feel that nice wrap of the shoulder blades onto the back. You should feel this right through the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. The heart reaches up. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, big step back into warrior two. Okay, step back right into it. That back heel grounds down. We'll take our right hand to our right block. Reach that right block about a foot's distance out in front of you, or 14 inches. Take your left hand to your left hip. And this is one of the places we're really going to work on the flex and point of the foot. So go ahead and shift your weight forward. So your weight is on your right block and right foot. Press back through that left foot. Now if you point your toe, feel how it kind of pulls the body back, right? If you flex the foot, it gives you that power for your belly and it lengthens you through the back side of the body. So this is a great place to flex and access the back side of the body. If you like, you can start to extend the top arm up towards the ceiling or keep the hand on the hip. Take one more inhale here and exhale, bring the foot down. Breathing in for halfway lifts. I love bringing the blocks in. Exhale, fold forward, still blocks. Inhale, dive all the way up. And as you exhale, hands to the heart again. Let's start the tree on the other side. So the shin bone goes forward, thigh bone goes back, foot gets placed, and then the tailbone roots down, squeezing the left inner thigh to the midline, right foot to the shin. Elbows forward, head of the arm bones back, chest is broad and lifting. Breathing here. Feel your body trying to find balance. It's okay if you're wobbly. You most likely, definitely will be wobbly. If you try to fight the wobble, that's when you'll fall. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, step back to warrior two. Just so you kind of go to that place where the hips are slightly open to the sides. You don't have to wrench them open because that's just going to compromise the knee. They're slightly open to the sides. And then we'll take the left hand to the block out in front of you. Right hand can go to your right hip. Shifting your weight to your left foot. Lift your back leg up behind you. Flex that back foot so you're kicking through the heel, accessing the back side of your body. And start to turn your chest open a little bit. Notice what happens if you don't flex. You just kind of let the leg hang there. Much more weight on the standing leg, and it will be a challenge to balance. So strong back leg, let the back leg help your standing leg. Maybe lifting that right arm up, maybe not. Making sure you're breathing here. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, lower the foot down. Breathing in, rise halfway. Exhale, fold. Diving all the way up, inhale. And exhale, let's dive right back down. Breathe in, halfway lift. On your exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Let's move through a vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Inner thighs lift. Exhale, come down onto the knees. All the way down to the mat. Point or lengthen the legs back. Inhale, lift the chest forward. And exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Taking an inhale here, with your next exhale, gently place your left shin diagonal across the mat. So we're coming more into a pigeon here. But this pigeon isn't a seated, hanging out, sink down pigeon, right? We're pressing down into the shin. Feel the top of your right thigh bone hugging back into the hip. Feel the back knee drawing forward. You can even bring the blocks in for this one. Probably the flattest height. So I'm going to ask you to twist. Now when we twist, I don't want you to twist through the pelvis, right? So you want to keep the pelvis stable, twist from the belly and across the chest, the place that's the most accessible for your twist, and bend the back knee. Maybe touch the pinky toe side of that foot. So you're not pulling the foot towards you, you're just touching that foot, and you can even press the pinky toe side of the foot into the hand a little, and continue that opening across the chest. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, release the foot down, move the block side of the way, step back to downward facing dog. We'll take an inhale here. As you exhale, bring the left foot, or the left shin, diagonal across the mat. Again, we're not sinking down. We're staying nice and tall. Press down to the shin, pull the back knee forward. Good, you keep going with this. Flare those front toes. Feel the back knee pulling in. That's it. Bring the blocks underneath the hands. And again, stabilizing through the pelvis, twisting from your belly and across your chest. Start to twist to your left. Good. You can bend the back knee, reach back, and place your hand to the pinky toe side of that back foot. You're not pulling on the leg, you're just touching, and you can do a little gentle press of the pinky toe side of the foot into the hand, stabilizing once again through the legs, through the knee, through the hips, and allowing you to open up and broaden across the chest a bit more. Good. Taking one more inhale here. Slowly release the foot as you exhale. Place the hands onto the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, shift forward into plank. And as you exhale, lower all the way down into your belly. This time, let's take the fingertips out to the side. So take the fingertips out to the side so they're off your mat, onto the floor. Point your toes back, elbows wide. Press down to the feet. Reach back through the tailbone, hug into the belly. And as you inhale, start to curl your heart forward and up. And as you exhale, melt a little bit. Give yourself some space, find some freedom. Inhale, lift the heart up. And as you exhale, soften again. Feel that softness between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift up again. And exhale, one more time, soften. Last time, inhale. And exhale, lower all the way down. Take your arms alongside your body. Now building strength through that back. As you inhale, lift everything off the floor. Flare the toes, lift through the chest. Palms facing out. They're not facing up. You see how that rolls the shoulders forward and scrunches the neck. Roll the palms to face towards the floor, maybe even to the side walls a little bit to roll back the shoulders. Take one more inhale. And exhale, lower down. Turn your head to one side and rest. You can stay there and breathe a couple breaths. We're getting closer to the end. I feel like laying on your belly, turning your head to one side is always like the indicator of like, oh, we're almost there. Unless it's one of those weird classes where I trick you. Take an inhale here, exhale to the mouth as you turn your head to the other side. And then from here, come up onto your hands and knees. Tuck the toes into the mat and come all the way up to stand up knees. Let's take the hands together at the heart. So kind of like we did in your tree pose, we turned it into a little back bend. We'll take our camel, but just with a little back bend, using the muscles along the spine for the lift up through the sternum, and using the muscles in the belly to ground down to the legs. So take a moment. We don't want to push forward with the pelvis for this one. We don't want to squeeze the bum, push the pelvis forward. Instead, let's create some space here. So take the tops of the thigh bones back, and then take the tailbone and scoop it underneath you, okay? So now scooping underneath you doesn't mean that you're pushing your pelvis forward again, right? So tailbone rooting down toward your knees, and a little lift of that lower belly is just grounding you down. You'll feel your knees kind of push down and out a little bit. And then with those sides of the body nice and long, start to lift the sternum towards the hands. Elbows can go forward, head of the arm bones can go back. Breathing here. So feeling this between the bottom tips of the shoulders. Notice how I'm not going back really far, right? So if you start to go back, notice how we lean back a lot of times. So if we're going to start to really go back and take the hands down towards the heels, it should be a lift up through the sternum, curling over the upper back, and then taking the hands down. Not a lean and lift. Couple more breaths here. That heart's nice and lifted to the hands. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, point your toes back and sit down onto your heels. Just a couple breaths here, shoulders in line with hips, feeling nice and tall and proud through the chest. And let's swing the legs around to the front. And once you take the legs forward, let's bring the soles of the feet together. We'll kind of counter all that back bending with a twist here. So soles of the feet together is a really great way to help really stabilize the pelvis for a twist. So grab your left foot or your left hand to right foot and start to twist towards your right. Right hand on the floor behind you, lengthening up through the spine and rotate from the belly across the chest, the most accessible place to do your twist. The goal is never to twist in your lower back. The lower back should be stable. Use where you have the most range of motion for your twist, which is right through your shoulders. And as you inhale, come back to the center, and let's rotate to the other side. Pressing the feet together, lengthening up through your spine. When the feet press, the pelvis stabilizes even more, and you're rotating from your navel across your chest. Your head can totally follow the twist, but it doesn't lead the twist, right? And come back to the center, and once you do, draw the legs towards each other. Extend the legs out in front of you. So you have two options here. We're not going to pull the fleshy part away from the sit bones. We'll take your thigh and rotate each thigh inward. So take the right thigh, turn it into the inside, take the left thigh, rotate it to the inside, and feel the sit bones spread. Maybe the toes turn towards each other a little bit. Take your heels and pull your heels towards your sit bones. Notice how that helps to tilt your pelvis forward, and it gives you a nice little bend of the knees. Let's keep that. Lift up through the belly and start to hinge forward. Now, another option could be taking your blocks and putting them underneath your knees. And if you're lucky and you have a bolster there too, you can use that, but you can always just use blocks here. And it just gives that little extra lift. You can even hold on to the blocks. And again, lift that belly up over the thighs as you start to lay forward, shoulders away from the ears. And when you get your belly on your thighs, then that upper back can start to round. The thing that we like to try not to round is the lower part of the back. Because once we round that lower part of the back, first of all, the natural curve of it is to curve inward, not to curve out, right? Natural curve in, not out. So we want to maintain that. But also, then we tuck the pelvis underneath us, and then we lose all of the hamstring stretch, right? So even if your pose is right here, maintaining the natural curve of the lumbar spine, leveling out the pelvis, working on tilting the pelvis forward, fingertips pressing to the mat, even if the knees are bent, that's great, okay? Then maybe you start to hinge forward. Maybe also start to lengthen the legs forward once you hinge. So many options in this forward bend. And none of them are like a gym class. When we were in gym class and had to like touch that board, none of it's like that. Leading with the heart with your next inhale, slowly start to come up. Bend the knees and plant the feet on the mat, and let's slowly start to come down. No test here, unless you want to test yourself here. Just coming down onto the mat. And once you're on the mat, bring the knees in, hold on to the feet, draw the knees in towards the armpits. Try to ground the pelvis, the bum down towards the floor as you push the feet into your hands ever so slightly, and pull the feet down with the hands. Grounding the shoulders. Couple more breaths here. And let's bring the soles of the feet together, knees are wide, drop the feet down to the mat. Even once you get here, Take a moment to draw the shoulder blades underneath you and to scoop the bum underneath you. Closing off the eyes. Starting to settle down. Easing your way towards your shavasana, your relaxation. And then from here, start to draw the legs together, and you can extend the legs down along the mat. Definitely allow yourself this time. Even if you just feel like, I'm just lying here, like I'm not doing anything. It's like, yeah, exactly. You're not doing anything. And that's the goal. It's just to allow yourself to have time. I'll be here to take you out of it. So give yourself this time. Begin to deepen your breath. Moving any way that feels natural and comfortable. Eventually curling into the fetal pose on your right. And coming up to sit whenever you're ready. And let's bring the hands together at the heart. And sitting up nice and tall. Find yourself in the middle of that circle again, surrounded by all the
things in your life, the mind chatter, the requirements, the demands, the expectations, and feel them even a little bit further away than they were at the start. And then you choose, you pluck or welcome any of the things in this circle that bring you joy. Bring those things in, the things that serve you well, the things that keep you focused, the things that make you feel strong. Bring those things back in. And everything else for now, just leave at the sidelines. Even if just for a little while. And let's bow our heads to those things that bring us joy, strength, confidence, love, peace. And bow your head to your hands and honor yourself and your practice. Adi Om Tat Sat. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.